Welcome to this free online class on machine learning. Machine learning is one of the most exciting recent technologies, and in this class you learn about the state of the art and also gain practice implementing and deploying these algorithms yourself. It turns out you probably use a learning algorithm dozens of times a day without knowing it. Every time you use a web search engine like Google or Bing to do a web search, one of the reasons it works so well is because a learning algorithm, like run by Google or Microsoft, has learned how to rank web pages. Every time you use Facebook or Apple's photo tagging application and it recognizes your friends' photos, that's also machine learning. And every time you read your email and your spam filter saves you from having to wait through tons of spam email, that's also a learning algorithm. For me, one of the reasons I'm excited is the AI dream of someday building machines as intelligent as you are. And we're a long ways away from that, but many researchers think the best way towards that AI goal is through learning algorithms that try to mimic how the human brain learns. So I'll tell you a bit about that too in this class. In this class, you learn about the state-of-the-art machine learning algorithms. But it turns out that knowing the algorithms and knowing the theory of machine learning isn't that much good if you don't know how to do it yourself. So we've also spent a lot of time developing exercises in which you get to implement and see each of the algorithms work for yourself. So why is machine learning so prevalent today? It turns out machine learning is a field that had grown out of the field of AI, of artificial intelligence. We want to build intelligent machines, and it turns out there were a few basic things that we could program a machine to do, like how to find the shortest path from A to B. But for the most part, we just did not know how to write AI programs to do, the more interesting things like web search, filter tagging, anti-spam. And there's a realization that the only way to do these things was to have a machine learn to do them by themselves. So it's a new capability that has arisen for computers, and today machine learning touches many segments of industry and basic science. For me, I work on machine learning, and in a typical week, I might end up talking to helicopter pilots, to biologists, to some of the computer systems people, my colleagues, and an average of 2 to 3 times a week, I'll get email from people in industry, from Silicon Valley, contacting me with an interest in applying machine learning algorithms to their own problems. I think this is sort of a sign of the range of problems, of autonomous flight, computational biology, tons of things in Silicon Valley that machine learning is having an impact on. Here are some modern examples of machine learning. Database mining. So it turns out one of the reasons machine learning is so prevalent is with the growth of the web and also the growth of automation. And this means that we just have much larger data sets today. So for example, tons of Silicon Valley companies are collecting web click data or click stream data and are trying to use machine learning algorithms to mine this click stream data to understand the users better and serve users better. It's a huge segment of Silicon Valley right now. Medical records, with the advent of automation, we now have medical records. So can you turn medical records into medical knowledge and start to understand disease better? Computational biology, with automation, biologists are now collecting tons of data of our gene sequences, DNA sequences, and so on. And learning algorithms have given us a much better understanding of the human genome and what it means to be human. And in engineering as well, understanding the tons of engineering data that we have with the advent of automation. So understanding the data that we have is one large segment. Another large range of applications is just ones that we cannot program by hand. For many years, I worked on autonomous helicopters. We just did not know how to write a compute program to make a helicopter fly by itself. And the only thing that worked for us was to have a helicopter learn by itself how to fly. Handwriting recognition. It turns out that every time you send US mail, actually internationally as well, but part of the reason it's so cheap to send mail across the country now is because there's a learning algorithm that has figured out how to read your handwriting and very cheaply send your piece of mail on its way. In fact, if you've seen the fields of natural language processing or computer vision, this is the fields of AI pertaining to understanding language, understanding images. Most of NLP and most of computer vision today is sort of largely applied machine learning. Machine learning is also widely used for self-customizing programs. So every time you go to Amazon or Netflix or actually iTunes Genius and it recommends new movies or products or music to you, that's a learning algorithm. This is a software that has customized itself to your preferences. And if you think about it, right, if you have, a million users, you can't actually write a million different programs, right? The only way is to have software that can learn by itself, to customize itself to your preferences. And finally, learning algorithms today are being used to help understand human learning and understand the brain. And we talk about how researchers are using this to make progress in sort of the big AI dream. A few months ago, a student showed me an article on what are the top 12 IT or top 12 information technology skills. So what are the skills that information technology hiring managers cannot say no to? It's a slightly older article, but at the top of this list of the 12 most desirable IT skills, at the top of the list was machine learning. Here at Stanford, the number of recruiters that contact me asking if I know of any graduating machine learning students, the number of recruiters that contact me is actually far larger than the number of machine learning students we actually graduate. So I think there's a vast unfulfilled demand for this skill set. So this is a good time to be learning about machine learning, and I hope to teach you a lot about machine learning in this class. In the next video, we'll start to give a more formal definition of what is machine learning and begin to talk about the main types of machine learning problems and algorithms, and you pick up some of the main machine learning terminology and start to get a sense of what are the different algorithms and when each one might be appropriate.